Welcome back to Two Thumbs Up Movie Reviews and More, and today we're diving deep into HBO's Watchmen, a show that redefines what superhero stories can be. What if everything we thought about heroes was built on a lie? What if the mask didn't protect power, but hide pain? This series is not about justice, it's about history, trauma, and the cost of forgetting. Damon Lindelof and his team didn't just adapt the iconic 1984 graphic novel by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons. They continued it, 40 years later, with new stakes, new scars, and new voices. To get this show, you really need to know the original comic. The comic asked, who watches the Watchmen? This series asks even deeper questions, like who gets to wear the mask, and what history lies beneath it. Watchmen 2019 recasts superheroes, not as Cold War metaphors, but as symbols of American racism. The apocalypse isn't nuclear, it's historical, and the weapon, it's memory. The show opens on a brutal truth. The 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. This isn't some flashback, it's ground zero. Black citizens slaughtered, families torn apart, a thriving community bombed from the air. It's real, horrific, and too often erased from history. The lone survivor, Will Reeves, grows up to become Hooded Justice, the first masked vigilante in the Watchmen universe. But his true identity was erased and whitewashed. The show reframes the birth of masked justice, not as triumph, but as trauma and survival. Superheroes didn't emerge from virtue, they emerged from pain. Masks in this show are powerful. They're not just symbols of identity or power, like in the comic. They're armor against a system that refuses to see certain faces as human. Angela Abar, Sister Knight, wears her mask, not just because she's a cop, but because she's a descendant of pain. Her mask connects her to a painful history. She inherits and relives. Angela's story is shaped by the heart of a show. A woman shaped by mourning and rage, living a double life as a cop and vigilante in a world where even the police wear masks. After a white supremacist attack called the White Knight, she uncovers her family's legacy and becomes a living vessel for buried history. Trauma in Watchmen isn't just a theme, it's the structure of the entire story. Pain passes through generations. Memory skips bloodlines but never disappears. Angela inherits Will's trauma as he inherited Tulsa's wounds. The pain is political, systematic, genetic, and it's in the very air. This show calls out white supremacy directly. The 7th Cavalry are a white supremacist militia wearing Rorschach masks, quoting his journal as scripture. They aren't exaggerations, they're warnings about how symbols of justice can be hijacked by hate. And that brings us to Rorschach, Walter Kovacs, one of the most controversial figures in comics. In the original, he was a rigid, moral absolutist. His mask was shifting black and white ink, showed a world without gray. He was a warning about how trauma and ideology can become dangerous. In this series, Rorschach is dead, but his symbol lives on, misused by violent extremists. The show shows us how symbols can be twisted beyond their creator's intentions. Rorschach's refusal to compromise becomes a tool for oppression. Then there's Looking Glass, Wade Tillman, the spiritual heir to Rorschach, a man who survived the squid attack. Traumatized and fearful, obsessed with truth, wearing a reflective mask that hides his face and reveals the world. When Wade learns the truth about Vide's hoax, his world identity crumbles. He is what Rorschach might have been if he had lived. But instead of radicalizing it, he quietly changes. He adapts. He becomes human. Every major character grapples with the past. Laurie Blake, formerly Silk Spectre, now an FBI agent hunting vigilantes. She's jaded, self-aware, addicted to masks, even while chasing them off. The streets, Adrian Veidt, the smartest man in the world, is exiled on a moon, surrounded by clones, worshipping and mocking him. His historic story is tragic, grotesque, and lonely. And Dr. Manhattan, the most impossible character to write. Reimagined with grace, he hides in plain sight. As Cal, Angela's husband, with no memory of his godlike nature, he chooses to become human, to love. The relationship is cosmic and sacred, about intimacy over omnipresence. His death is not defeat, but a gift. He passes power through love and trust, not domination. In the final scene, Angela stands at the water's edge, egg in hand, about to step on the water. Will she walk? The story doesn't say, because it's not about what happens next. It's about what she chooses to carry forward. Watchmen is about masks as armor, as prisons, and the courage to take them off. It's not about justice as truth, not about vengeance, about confronting history, rather than forgetting it. About how remembering may be the last true superpower there ever has been. A superhero story like this. Every frame is deliberate, every theme is connected, every performance layered and complex. The score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross is haunting and mythic. Even the subliminal materials like Peteypedia deepens the story. This is not just a continuation of a classic. It's a transformation, a new origin story written in blood and hope. The most radical thing a story can do is tell the truth, and Watchmen does just that. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss future reviews. Drop your thoughts about this show in the comments. I want to hear what you think about Rorschach's trauma and all the powerful themes here. Until next time, keep watching and keep thinking. Watchmen gets 2 big thumbs up.